So welcome to this practice, which is going to be a body scan, but a slight variation on the body scan that you may be more familiar with. In that there will be an invitation to move. So whichever part I will invite you to bring your attention to, there will also be an invitation for moving that body part or any other that feels right for you, of course. And in this way, it can give an extra support for our attention, and yeah, it may just give you a slightly different experience than a still body scan. Obviously, if you prefer to stay still, please feel very free to do that. And you could just use it as kind of a normal body scan where what is moving is your attention through the body. So yeah, as always, make the practice what you need it to be. And let's see let's see what it brings. So let's begin by just inviting the body to gravitate towards a posture that's as comfortable as can be. And really taking our time to see whether it would be a sitting or a lying down, or maybe a standing posture that feels most aligned for you at this time. And in the arriving into this practice, we can just take a moment to acknowledge whatever is present at this time for you. Both what's present internally as well as what's happening around you. And in this way, just finding ourselves here. And we can orient towards the practice by reflecting on the intention. What is your intention? And it may be around befriending the body, exploring what's present with openness and curiosity, and obviously with kindness. Or maybe there's other themes present for you too, just acknowledging what's there. And then touching in with your motivation too, your sense of why this may be important and relevant for you in your own life. And the love for others can also be a very strong motivation, because anything that we do that benefits our own flourishing will immediately have a ripple effect out to others too. So then let's let the intention and motivation just rest in the mind. And let's turn our attention now to the whole body as you find it in this moment. The whole body from the crown of the head to the tips of the fingers and the soles of the feet, and everything in between. Noticing how the breath is animating this body, sensing into the aliveness and the many little movements that are happening all by themselves. movements of breathing, maybe in the digestive system, or a sense of the heart beating, the blood flowing, or movement around the eyes. Just allowing ourselves to become sensitive to these subtle sensations of movement. And then for this moving body scan, I'd like to invite us to start at the head and make our way down to the feet. So we could begin by noticing the sensations at the crown of the head, at the scalp. And if you like, you may want to bring your hands up to your head and let the hands say hello to this part of the body. Maybe a little massage of the scalp or a tapping with the fingers. And then coming down to the forehead, maybe smoothing out the forehead with the fingers, eyebrows. And the area around the eyes, you could look in different directions, either with your eyes closed or open. And then coming down into the rest of the face, maybe pulling funny faces, like really scrunching up or stretching wide. Maybe movement in the jaw. Not forgetting the ears. Maybe the hands helping them move a bit, pulling them up and out and down. And with all this, really sensing into what's right for your body. So I'm only giving invitations with every space for what feels right for you. Then we can come to the neck. What would feel good there? Maybe a rolling of the neck. Gentle tipping forwards and to the sides. Maybe the hands coming up to the neck and really sensing into the details of the sensations there. And of course, the thoughts and feelings will continue to come and go, and we can just acknowledge them. As we drop down to the shoulders, maybe moving the shoulders if that feels right for you in any way. Maybe again the hands offering kind touch, strong or soft. Maybe a rolling the shoulders forwards and up and back down, seeing what would feel right for your body. And then let's take our attention down into the upper arms. So again, maybe movement or maybe the hands giving a little squeeze to the upper arms. And movement at the elbows, rotating perhaps. And then sensing into the lower arms. Or into your wrists. Again, maybe a rotating at the wrist if that feels right for you. And then sensing into the hands. The palms of the hands and the fingers. Let's stay curious about what we can feel, but maybe also about how we are paying attention. Is it a kind of mechanical attention, or is it a curious attention, a caring attention, appreciative? Just noticing. We may want to stretch the palms really wide and make starfish fingers. And maybe wriggling the fingers as well, moving the hands. Maybe a little shaking out, if that feels appealing, a shaking out of the hands and the arms, shoulders. And then coming back to a moment of stillness where we pause and just notice what's present now in the head, the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Be aware again of the movement of breathing that's happening throughout it all. And then let's resume our journey. So coming back to the shoulders and the collarbones, and then the area of the chest. We may want to rain our fingertips on the chest, or maybe some rubbing, some tapping. And at the back, we can sense into the shoulder blades, see how they may move. I'm exploring the movement in the spine, curving this way and that. Sensing into the movements of breathing in the chest and also in the belly, that expanding and contracting of maybe slightly deeper breathing if that's comfortable for you. And also letting the hands go to where that feels right for you, maybe a rubbing of the belly or of the lower back. What would caring attention and movement look like here? And of course, if you want to change position at any point, feel really free to do that. And so now we can drop our attention down to the hips, kind of rotating of the hips perhaps, or drawing figures of 8. Maybe a tilting of the pelvis would feel right for you, really trusting your body, trusting what you're drawn to do. And that might include just a still noticing. No need to move. That's all optional. And then when you're ready, we could again just pause as we come down to the bottom of the torso. And just taking a few moments to take in the sensations of the whole of the torso. including the movements of breathing, all those sensations, and the thoughts and feelings coming and going. You need to stop them or to chase them, to get involved. You can just come back to the immediacy of the body again and again. So then from here, let's drop our attention down into the upper legs now. And maybe some movement at the hips. Maybe letting the hands come down to this part of the body, making connection. Gradually coming down into the knees. Maybe some bending there. And one way of sensing into the lower legs is to move the feet, to point your toes towards your nose and then pointing them as far away from you as possible. Sensing into what that does with the big muscles in the lower legs. Maybe there's other movements you'd like to make with the legs, the feet. Sensing into the ankles, maybe rotating there. And coming to the feet, the toes. Maybe a wiggling of toes and a twisting this way and that, or maybe the hands would like to come down to the feet for some caring touch. A little massage. Just noticing what you notice, whether in thoughts or feelings, sensations. And then at some point you may want to come to stillness again. And then let's sense into the legs now, the legs and the feet. Noticing the subtle after sensations from movement, or perhaps just the sensations that are there. And let's widen our awareness to include the whole of the body. So all the way from the soles of the feet now, through the legs, into the torso, into the arms and hands, and up into neck and head. And then let's check in with the body to see if there's any other movement that the body would appreciate. That may be very clear and outspoken, or maybe a bit tentative, or maybe the body says that it would like to be still now. Either way, honoring and acknowledging what's there. And then perhaps letting our attention once again land with the living breath. And for a little while, just letting our attention be carried by the soothing breathing rhythm as the body is resting here, supported by the ground underneath us. The mind also invited to simply rest in this moment. With nothing to do, nowhere to go. And letting everything happen by itself. As we're resting in the body in this way, we may want to see if we can get in touch with a sense of appreciation for this precious body that carries us through life. And although there may be sensations there which are unpleasant, it may not quite function in the way you'd love it to, or maybe not quite look in the way that you would have liked to have designed it. But still, as Rob Nairn often said, we don't have a spare one in the cupboard. And seeing if we can get in touch with a sense of appreciation for what is well, for its presence. Or as John Kabat-Zinn used to say, as long as we're breathing, there's more right with us than wrong with us. And as we're moving towards transitioning out of the practice, we could see if there's a kind intention for going forth into the rest of the day. A way of taking our mindful awareness into whatever may come next. And connecting with the wish that any goodness of this practice may both continue to grow and resonate in our being, supporting us when we need it most. And that at the same time it may ripple out to others around us, to our near and dear ones, and to others we share this precious planet with, and rippling out in ever widening circles. Bing. So that brings us to the end of the practice. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day.